Hello and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. Today we're going to discuss The Ultimate Fighter, the return of The Ultimate Fighter, season 29, episode 4, a review of episode 4. Hello.
What's up? What are you saying?
Guess what? Before we get going, I've got something brilliant to do. It's exciting. I'm going to shout out 2 new subscribers.
Amazing.
We've agreed that, right? We're agreeing it's all good to do it. Well, we haven't asked them.
Yeah, we ain't asked them.
I'm going for it. Top of the show. Before we get involved in anything, we're gonna give some shine to some new subscribers. There's only 2, but it's 2. The first one is Ryan Hanratty. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, good bloke, Ryan.
He's mint, isn't he?
Yep. Who's the next one?
The next one is Kieran Bailey. Yeah,
sound like 2 classic Ingers here. Yeah.
Right. Thanks, nice Kieran. Kieran, Ryan, nice one. I hope.
And the original. Who's the original? DMX bloke.
Oh, DMX Simmons.
Yep, he's brilliant and all. He's the orig.
Cheers, fellas. I hope you enjoy what's about to come. This is the review of The Return of the Ultimate Fighter, season 29, episode 4. Right off the bat, Desert Voice is recapping the previous episode as usual. That's the way this rolls, right? Because DeFranco don't change now. And he says, with their fight looming, Newman and Gore ignited a rivalry between the teams. Now, don't he know we've seen this episode that he's talking about?
No, that's why he's doing a recap. It's for people who probably haven't seen the episode. So
listen. He needs to listen to the review. Desert does, right? He needs to listen to our previous episode review because they didn't ignite no rivalry between no teams. Not what I saw, but that's what he said. You remember that?
Agreed. We'll get onto it later, but there was a little bit of an ignited rivalry later in this episode.
But not because of. Yeah, not because of Trajan and
Trajan or anything like that.
And Newman in the last episode, but that's what he said. Anyway, that just goes to show you that if you're not following it, you could go, "Oh my god, I missed that episode." And imagine going back. Oh, you don't need to. Just listen to the review. Although I think that's longer than actually going through the episode. But
I wish I'd rather just watch the recaps every week rather than sit through this 45 minutes of.
Okay, well, I'll have to just go through in order of the show as things happen. Trajan, he told Newman that he needs to remain faithful and that he's proud of him as a man and as a fighter, and he's his brother in Christ.
Yeah, all right. Nice one. Thanks.
These chats that he was having where he was saying he's proud of him and all that. Do you remember this shot? It was the pair of them.
Yeah.
Ryder with Ronnie's on, and he was sitting on the armchair, and every time he said something like, "I'm proud of you, man," it was like fist bump. Yeah, you're brilliant. Fist bump. Look, listen, just keep your head up, held up high. Fist bump. Listen, I wanted to knock you out, Yeah, fist bump. Do you remember it?
I do, yeah. Because at one point I thought this fist bump is getting ridiculous. But you know what I think it was? I think it was Ryder's way of trying to put an end to the chat, like kind of going, "Nice one," like doing a thanks, see you later. Yeah, like thanks, see you later. But he couldn't because Trajan was just going off on. Do you remember when I said to you in the previous episode they had a chat in the bedroom about whether his Extreme Couture teammate was giving him any advice? And they had that chat, and you said you couldn't even really understand what they were saying to each other.
No, I couldn't. It
was basically similar to this. It was just a load of garbage. Just garbage. "I'm proud of you, man. Yeah, I respect you more as a fighter, but as a person now. Yeah, man. Well, I respected you before the fight." It's just like these people, they're genuinely saying nothing. It's just the only thing that made that scene semi-decent was I started counting the amount of fist bumps.
Yeah, see, it was so obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and they all
really bad.
There was some later as well, but the next scene was Volkanovski giving a pep talk to his team, and he had a big third eye showing. Did you see that?
What do you mean? He's nobbing in his shorts.
He had a big third eye.
The knob in his shorts.
In his shorts, no, in his actual third. He had a grash.
He had a spot in his foot. Yeah. I was thinking his shorts are a little bit revealing as well. They're the type that if he went for a run, you'd probably see it bouncing from side to side.
I didn't notice that.
For Christie. Hadn't pulled up really high as well, like Simon Cowell.
Yeah, all tucked in and everything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that. Yeah.
I can't say anything about that because I tuck my
You
tops
do
in.
the tucking and all, yeah.
I've hit that age.
Can't be helped. It's real. It's just real.
I like Volkanovski, I think, quite a lot. I think he's good.
Same here, yeah. He's good. He cooks raw meat, but he's still good. Chiesa comes in. He turns up as a guest coach, and he trains with a bloke that he trains with all the time anyway. So yeah, nice one. Thanks for that, Chiesa. Brilliant. Thanks for all your help with all the team. Just turned up and trained with the same bloke.
Yeah.
Crap.
Didn't that bloke look at Chiesa like he was starstruck by him?
He did, yeah. Even though he trains with him all the time.
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
It is.
In Chiesa, he looks good now, doesn't he?
What, the barnet and the beard and that?
Yeah, like his beard looks sharp as out. His haircut's really tight. You know, before he honestly looked a little bit like a hobo. You know, in the Ultimate Fight series, he did, didn't he? He looked like a vagrant. You know, he looked like someone they just dragged in off the park bench.
Yeah, but now he's on the desk and on telly and all that
broadcasting.
Yeah,
he looks wicked, doesn't he? You know, good face, good hair, good beard. You know, good bod, everything. I mean, he really looks the part now.
He does, yeah. So Volkanovski, he goes around the house, as we know, and cooks fighters grub and all that, you know, trying to be mates, get involved with the team. Ortega only goes when Trejon invites him round for some raw steaks. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the only reason he went round. He didn't go round there. He did go round there, but it was only when Trejon said, listen, you want some raw mutt? I've got some going on.
Yeah, it's always got to be raw.
Yeah. See you in a bit. So that's the only reason he went round there.
What do you mean Trejon had it? What did he do? Order 33 steaks by mistake or something?
Same. He said Trejon gave me a shout and said, I've got some steaks here. I was like, yeah, no worries. I'll be over. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, I was exactly the same. Why have you got steak?
Looked a shit meal as well, didn't it? Just steak with cream.
On a paper plate, yeah.
Yeah, steak and
blood, pink corn. Blood.
Yeah. What sort of a meal was that? No chips, no potatoes, there's too many carbs, no broccoli, no nothing. It's got to be broccoli. Every fighter has broccoli. There's something with broccoli or kale. Or
I couldn't agree more. It really did look like a bad meal. It was just literally a paper plate with pink blood on it and just a big lump of mutt. It was rubbish. Yeah. Nothing else. No rice, no salad, no nothing. Volkanovski, do you remember we said how nice it looked? All laid out, all salad and everything. Great. So, yeah, Trejon. What can he do, though? Maybe he is limited. That's why Ortega should have gone round with all the trimmings. But no, he just turned up and ate raw meat. Crap. Look, the next scene is a Dustin Lampros, the bloke who's having a fight at the end of the episode. He had some pretty horrible stories about his mum and her issues that she had and him losing her and all that. I thought it was quite a real moment, you know, on that show, because that show is all the same, innit? If I weren't, you know, fighting, I'd be in prison and this and that, and I'm sleeping in my car with a window half open. they're all the same. I'm not saying they ain't real. I'm just saying they're a bit run of the mill. Whereas this one, you do get stories like this, but you know, his reaction to it and all that was definitely proper stuff. You know, proper real gear. Pretty, heartfelt stuff.
Who wouldn't be like that if that sort of sequence of events happened to their mother or father or whatever? I find it a bit weird that he was like, no, everything I've fought for down here. And obviously, he may not have started off like this. Didn't he have like a Porsche in the drive or something? Like he was trying to make out like he was Trejon Mark II, you know, like got no money, living on Skid Row here. It's like they turned up and he's at a mansion in a sunny part of America with palm trees and a Porsche with a gym in his garage. And I was like, oh yeah, looks tough.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was amazing where he lived. But he was saying that Wood has suggested he move to South Florida. So he does. He goes down there, but he's talking about, I was sleeping on the beach, on benches, in his car. Classic. Don't have the window works, but he was in his car, having 10 different homes. Don't all that. Just think of all those things he said, you know, having 10 different homes. Don't this cost money? Having this stuff. So it was a little bit weird.
Have to put down deposit for a start.
Well, yeah, you exactly. Normally like a month and a half or something if you're renting. I don't get it. I mean, you know, and he had a car and 10 different homes. And then we see, like you say, a Porsche outside. That might have been his mates, right? That mate, his mate he's trained with, maybe rich or whatever. Maybe he moved in with him. But like you said,
Well, he was
He looked
driving
like
around
he-
in a car later, and it didn't pan out. So couldn't see whether it was the Porsche or whatever. But the interior and stuff, it didn't look like Trajan's old banger that he fell asleep in with, no heating and the radio not
No,
working and
no, it
whatever
didn't.
else. So,
Maybe Wood has helped him out. He's the one who told him to move down there, but let him have 10 different homes and sleep on benches. Nice one. Yeah. Cheers for the advice. Brilliant.
yeah, there could be worse benches to sleep on. I mean, it looked like a nice area, didn't it?
Did look quite nice, yeah.
One thing you missed about when they're around the house eating prison food.
Yeah.
Did you hear all the rubbish that I think it was Ortega was coming out with? Stuff like, these guys have invited me round. We've been sharing stories. I think he said something like sharing love.
Yeah. So what could I do? I had to share back.
Yeah, exactly. And I sat there going, all right, we're going to hear an interesting story now. Nothing. Just the usual. I've got 2 kids.
2 boys, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, who cares? So what? How's that a story? How's that a story?
He shared that. He shared that secret,
Yeah, through love.
That was a big reveal. He's like, what was I supposed to do? I want to just go around there and eat prison food. And I ended up having to tell him I had 2 boys.
Yeah.
But what could I do? He told me he had a daughter. So
they opened up to him. And these people, him coming around, it shows that, he really cares about us and stuff. It's like, oh my God, what are you guys saying? I mean, these people in this show. Anyway, we're off that now.
We're not going off of that subject, because if you remember, that bloody coach on Ortega's staff doing that awkward fake chat to Murdoch about, we want to understand you as coaches, and you have so much skill, and you're 30 and on the Ultimate Fighter. So what happened? Was there something holding you back, or did you go through something? And what the hell was that chat? What was that? How's that going to help him win a fight?
Well, like you say, it's set up for the camera, that wasn't it?
It sounded so staged and set up exactly that. The best part is you could see that Tiki was sitting there going, crap this.
Yeah, well, you know what Tiki's just thinking about letting off some fire extinguishers, putting the tyres of somebody's car on bricks or whatever.
Oh, but then
that's what Tiki's there for.
That's right. But we're sitting there with bated breath. You like that one, the hick? To hear what this problem is. Because something's going to happen, because DeFranco's, like you say, he's set this up. He's put the cameras there and gone, sit there and let's have all sit round. They're all there. Everyone was there. Hannah Gracie there, waiting for the story. We're there, waiting for the story. Everyone is there waiting for the story. Kieran Bailey is waiting for the story. Ryan Hanratty, he's waiting for the story. LDMX is waiting. Listen, we're all waiting for the story. And then the story hits. Murdoch talked about an issue they found. And it's fair play. It was a powers issue when he was previously called up to the UFC before this Ultimate Fighter stuff. Now we know for sure the fact that he had some sort of brain issue, didn't he? Now we know for sure that the little chat was planned and totally set up. It was bad and really obvious. Bad qual DeFranco, that. Bit awkward.
Yeah, but it was an interesting story.
That's why they had to make sure they aired it. That's how they had to make sure they gave it time.
That they have the again, it's another thing where UFC gets a lot of heat for not paying their fighters enough, for being crap. But this is another good story, right? Where they spotted a medical problem with somebody, and it's been fixed now. And hopefully there's going to be no repercussions from it. I mean, I think shows a lot about his character, that he's willing to go in there and still have a smash when there's, even if a doctor says you're all good now.
No way.
I still think that takes a lot to go, all right, I'll go and do it. Because I'll be thinking, no. Just because the doctor said it's okay now, who's to say I'm still not going to die from this? Because he said that if somebody held a choke too long or he got punched, too hard, he could have died.
Right,
so
that's the end of it then.
Not worth risk. So shows something about him, I think.
Really don't know now else.
Well, I mean,
why don't he do what you said? Go and spend some hours doing guitar or learning a language or something.
This is all he knows. He's one of those blokes who actually did say prison, didn't he? I think he said either his mates are in prison or he'd be in prison.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Boring. Well, is America just full of people that are just on the verge of going to prison or what? Is that what you can do in America? Be on the Ultimate Fighter or go to prison? Is that it? Is that they're the career paths?
Well, you have said to me before first off, one of the things you said, which is bang on right, is that these are just normal blokes, and why would they be anything other than normal? Why are they going to be extra exciting just because they're on the Ultimate Fighter? Now they do say that they try and pick a cast that has stories and things and stuff like that, but like you said, they're just normal people. Of course, they're going to just have girlfriends with frying pans and eggs spitting at them. I mean, it's not going to be anything interesting in their home vid, particularly, right? Well, what's it like in Ingers? You say to me that, boxing brings a certain type sometimes, gets people off the street and that in the local clubs and gyms, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, the combat sports are working class sports, aren't they? They're people from, if you like, the, towards the lower rung of society, if you want to call it that. And so, yeah, there is a higher chance that somebody who fights for a living is going to have
the shady
or
past.
know people that maybe have had a run in with the law a bit more. But honestly, every single flipping fighter, gee whiz, every single fighter was on the verge of getting incarcerated until Dana.
That's where they'd be if
sent them an email.
I mean,
it's just so boring. It's like, anyway,
right. Okay, well, on to Vincent Murdoch's home vid. There's not much here to discuss. It was weed fight footage.
Matt, you're talking rubbish, aren't you?
No, weed training. There's nothing to speak of.
Shit really. On his hand.
Bit of cycling. Oh. Sorry, yeah.
If that ain't an exciting home video, to be fair, that probably was the most exciting thing I've seen on one of these home videos so far.
Well, I agree. Listen, didn't look like a cheap bike, did it?
No, that's right.
So,
he could have ended up in jail. He probably stole it. Probably thieved it.
That's why the bird craps on him.
But, I'm pretty sure they showed his home as well, and that looked mint as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, fair Ingers, fine. That's good. He's the one who had his wife is Clay Guida's woman, a woman that Clay Guida went to Met's mate.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I did think that was quite good when he went into the house doing the home video and she was just lying in bed looking like a sloth.
If I was I'd have said, no, do not send that clip in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the good thing was he said like, hello, doing this vid or whatever. And I thought that she'd maybe pull the black duvet over her head or go, oh no, go away or whatever. She didn't. She just went, so what? Still lying there with her gut out, just like not caring. So I thought that was quite good. But
yeah.
But
so
the reason I thought his home video was okay was because it wasn't trying to be anything more than what it was. I do cycling. Look, it was boring, but like we said, most people's lives are day to day. So it was all right. It was okay. I mean, is he perhaps? I know he trains at that alpha male, but has he had a DNA test with Cody Garbrandt?
Oh yeah, he might. Maybe it could be something. I mean, I haven't heard of it, so I'm guessing that he ain't had the test. But maybe they are
just two sames, aren't they? Then
maybe they don't need the test. Maybe they know
deep down. Yeah, I mean, aren't they identical pretty much?
Vincent Garbrandt,
tattoos and everything,
or Cody Vincent, Cody Murdoch.
Yeah,
struggled there. One or the other. Yeah, maybe they should. They are sames. Yeah, there was nothing to speak of. I like to see a bit of fight footage, and they did show in both of their Lampros and his. They did show some fight footage, but nothing to speak of. Nothing that I could get my teeth into. So just nothing to speak of. That's it. But the next,
I could see one thing. Lampros, he throws horrible hooks. Horrible hooks. He kind of throws them a little bit like TJ Dillashaw throws them. I don't like that.
Yeah, but okay. When you saw that in the fight footage, or are we onto the fight?
No, sort of in shadow boxing and stuff like
that. Okay, yeah, and a little bit of training.
I think hitting the pads. Yeah, I just saw his hooks and I went, ugh, they're pretty horrible. And he looked a lot like Lomachenko, actually.
Boxing. Not the fighting style. You mean the face?
No, yeah, definitely not the fighting style. Definitely not but his face he did. But yeah, I think I might be jumping ahead in the episode a bit, but I think looking at Murdoch when he was in the change room and he just threw a few kicks and stuff out, and I thought he does look like he knows what he's doing. He did look like he knew what he's doing. I looked at and I thought he got picked last. I was like, this guy actually looks good. If I saw him shadowboxing like down the gym, I'd be like, he's real at fighting. He looks good. So I don't know why he got picked last.
Maybe he wanted to be picked last so that he could have
Fly
a
under the
bigger.
radar.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was all part of his plan. The next scene then was Dustin Lampro's weight cutting scene. That's what came next in that little box with, I don't know why, battles in every scene as well, but he's in every scene. So we had that little weight cutting section where Volkanovski came round to help him out. Then they had the weigh-in, and he actually did miss weight by a bit, but he pulled it back, his skin, and made it in the next hour or whatever. Came back and made the weight. So he did have problems there, didn't he?
He did, yeah. They shared some stories as well, didn't they, while they were weight cutting?
Oh, so they did.
Boring and all.
So
again,
they did. Volkanovski looked very.
I'm doing this for my brother. And then Volkanovski's on there going, oh, yeah, it's good motivation. It's good to have motivation. He's doing it to make his brother proud.
What other motivation
Like,
do you
so
need?
what?
What other motivation do you need? I've got kids. You've got a brother. Yeah, so what? That's what he was.
It's just
brilliant.
I couldn't imagine being on that show and even giving my brother a second thought, going, I want to inspire my brother or whatever. And if I did, I know that when I got home, my brother would be like, you dickhead. Thinking you're inspiring me.
Yeah, but he had the good story, didn't he? Where he left, and then 3 weeks later, his mum passed, and he left, and his brother rung him at 2 a.m. Listen, it was a pretty powerful story, that,
Oh, yeah. Horrible for his younger brother to see, and you would carry that guilt with you.
Yeah, and he said, I felt like I don't know, not lumbered him with it, but I could have done more, didn't do more. And like you say, the guilt, it don't go because you can't change. Yeah, can't change it. You can't fix it now. All he can do, and it's, to be fair, it is a quote comment because he says all he can do now is do his best to inspire him and show what you can do if you put some effort in and all that. So yeah, I do think that was a pretty good one of these cry stories. And he was talking to a fella who said that his dad is no longer with us because of alcohol and all that. So they were double doing powers, the pair of them.
That's right. Yeah, the guy who's in love with Michael Chiesa.
Yeah, that normal looking bloke next door fella.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Time for the Ultimate Fighter flashback. This week it was a prank by Bizzers and, as you rightly said earlier, Tiki, fire extinguishers and a mariachi band. Not a very good prank. And not a very good flashback.
Yeah, crap. Why was there a mariachi band? It was Jason Mayhem Miller, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, but I'd have to go back and watch that.
I never understand the mariachi thing. People always use them to have a laugh. If I was a mariachi band, I'd be, listen, this is a serious thing here. It took me ages to learn how to play this, right?
Exactly.
We're all doing it together, and everyone just uses them as a joke. It's always the same. It's like, yeah, I know what would be funny. Let's hire a mariachi band. So if I was a mariachi band, I'd be, no, unless you're taking it serious, I'm not turning up for it. No, I'm not walking through fire extinguisher smoke. But it was a crap prank, wasn't it? I mean, the only good thing about it was how much Bizzers loved it.
Oh yeah, but those laughs were forced. Ha 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 ha.
The comic book laugh, yeah.
And no one else was laughing. I can't remember. I think there was a split second where you saw someone like Johnny Bedford in the background, and he just does the most normal face as if someone's just called his name, in the parking lot. He just turns around like, and looks as if like nothing's happening. And Bizzers is there laughing his head off, letting off fire extinguishers. Tiki's giggling like a little girl, and Bedford's just standing there like, what's going on? This is crap. It's just like when John Dodson looked like that, when Bizzers was having the argument with the bald guy. How much money do you earn?
Oh,
John
yeah.
Dodson was just standing there like, what the hell's going on? I've just turned up for training.
What have I just walked in on? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a, I think
it's a rubbish flashback.
Really it was, wasn't it? I'm sorry, it's another.
I wouldn't have picked. There's so much good Bisping stuff from Ultimate Fighter flashbacks that you could have. This was one of the worst. Putting like big breeze blocks around his car so you couldn't leave the car park. I mean, that is quite good, but sooner or later they
make a good flashback.
Those breeze blocks. So it's just crap. I hate all these practical jokes.
It's still a good idea for the show to have it. I still enjoy having it. It's just like you said, there was so many more good ones. But we'll see what's to come. So after an exciting load of stuff that we've just experienced on this show, on this episode, we're finally onto the fight. Dustin Lampros versus Vincent Murdoch. I'm gonna put it out there straight away and say you were right. It was going to be a short fight, as it was a round 1 KO for Vincent. Nice right hand, and then a knee to the face when Dustin got back up. Quite a good fight. Another win for Team Ortega, which makes it 4 in a row. So you did good there, mate. I mean, it's a brilliant.
Yeah, it went longer than I thought it was going to go, because I do think that there was some clips there they could have put into, at the end of the previous episode, next week, which they didn't.
I was watching it going, he's wrong. He's got done.
Yeah,
because like you said, there was plenty they could have showed, but they didn't. No, you hit it. You hit it bang on. Sorry,
I did say it'd be a first round KO, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's what it was. So what more do you want?
You were right, and that's it.
Yeah, again, it went to an ad break just before the first round started, so I fast forwarded it, and from that I could see that by the time it came back from the ad break, it was on sort of like 45 minutes. I was like, I know there's always a bit at the end of the episode to announce the next fight. That's 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes to actually do the round, wrap it up, have Dana have a chat about it in slow motion. So that's another 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes. So you add those two together, that's now at 55 minutes. So it's like, well, this fight can't last long then. So it was pretty obvious that someone was going to get done. I didn't think this was a good fight, though. I thought Murdoch looked really good, really snappy, crisp. He looks like an alpha male fighter, team alpha male fighter.
That's my question. After seeing that fight, I'd like to know, and you're starting on this chat now, what your assessment of both fighters is, please. Now you've seen them fight, because we didn't get any fight footage to watch, but now we do have this fight.
Well, Murdoch, as you said, he was going to fight in the UFC previously, and he looks UFC caliber. I would imagine he's getting into the UFC from this, even if he gets done in the next round. I think he showed in that first fight to, be on the prelims of a card.
Yeah.
I did say before, didn't I, as well, that Shalinian, Ludovic, and Raposo were both really good and both UFC caliber. I have to say, Murdoch looks like UFC caliber as well. So that's 3 out of the 4 bantamweights, I think it's bantamweights, that all look UFC caliber. I mean, I think Murdoch versus Raposo would be a good smash. I don't think Lampros is. I think. One thing I'll say about him, though, if I was Dana, I'd definitely give him a shot on the Ultimate Fighter finale show. And the reason being, remember we said about
Dustin Lampros.
Yeah, definitely would give him a shot, because he looks like he goes in there and looks like he goes in there to have a smash. And he wasn't terrible and he wasn't bad. I thought he was okay. He stung Murdoch at one point, I don't think drastically, but he definitely caught him with a punch that registered quite, heavily. And what we said the previous week, Ryder Newman, we wouldn't give him a shot because he showed nothing in his performance. He was too subservient, or whatever you want to call it. He was just too negative, didn't show fight, he showed fighters and he got in there and had a fight, but what means he didn't throw the kitchen sink at it. Whereas Lampros, he went in there, he got knocked out. Well, anyone can get knocked out, but what he did show in that few minutes was he went in there to go, well, either you're getting knocked out or I'm getting knocked out.
Yeah, he could tell he thought he was going to win.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah. And so I'd definitely give him a shot at the Ultimate Fight finale. I just think he's quite clearly a little bit, not massively, but a little bit behind the other 3 bantamweights that fought, Ludovic, Raposo, and Murdoch. But looks like they've got a decent talent level of bantamweights there, that's for sure. Not so convinced about the other weight class battle, but we'll find out soon enough. So
the thing is, that was his first loss, but it's an exhibition bout, so it won't go on his record. But to him, he said, that's my first loss, because he was 5-0 going into there, Dustin Lampros. And he said, that was my first loss. And I like the little chat he said to Volkanovski. He said, what happened? Did I get nonchalant there?
Yep.
And Volkanovski was brilliant as well. And I liked the end of that fight, the way that Herzog, the ref, picked him up and said, just calm down a minute, get a stool, sit down. And Volkanovski was like, look, it's all right. Don't be so hard on yourself. He's going, he's swearing and whatever. He's going, don't be so hard on yourself. You did good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I really liked it. All of them, Ortega coming over. They have been, at the end of these fights.
He done a great Jackson, didn't he? Go get some fans or go show some respect.
He did do that, but that's what a coach should be telling the fighter to do in those emotional moments, right? Coaching it's not just fighting, right? It's everything to do with it. I did like it, and they have been very respectful so far at the end of the fights and everything, shaking each other's hand, including the coaches and all that, which is strange considering what happens next, because it seems to be that they're all getting on well. But I did like the way that Volkanovski deals with these fellas. We've watched a lot of these Ultimate Fighters. We're on season 29 now. Believe me, we've watched a lot, all of them. We've watched every series of this. And a lot of the times these coaches, they go backstage and they're really angry. This guy he ain't lost nothing, Volkanovski, right? He's not lost nothing, but his team has lost 4 in a row, if you want to care about that. But some of these coaches in previous series have really cared about that. You can tell they're really annoyed. They do say digs at the fighter as if to say, like, well, it's your own fault, you know. You'll learn from it, but you never left it all out there, whatever. But he's not like that at all. He's really, really nice and genuine to these blokes. No worries, you know, you did your best. It's all good. Don't worry about it. He's brilliant. I really like him a lot. Qual bloke.
I said at the start, didn't I, that I think he seems like a good bloke, a good down to earth, normal bloke who could just as easy come around to fix your plumbing. That sounds a bit dirty. He does just seem like a real blue collar, genuine, normal, nice fella. And I agree that. Look, I liked Lampros immediately questioning, look, what did I do wrong? It was a bit nonchalant, because the truth is, I think he is a bit nonchalant with his fighting style. His hands are a bit low. You can tell he thinks that he's just got to land on someone and bang them out. And I do think there's touch. But what we've said before, we liked it with Glover, and I think with Ryan Bader and stuff, when they've been self-critical even after victories, they've been self-critical. And I think it's important quality to have, to be able to look at yourself and go, I was not doing the best I could do there. That will stand Lampros in good stead if he, you know, uses this experience to go, well, I won't be so cocksure of myself, or won't be so certain.
It comes with being 5-0 though, doesn't it?
It
can come with being undefeated.
Yeah, it was a good knee from Murdoch as well, by the way. Just to
it was very good.
Really good knee. A lot of time people throw those and they just end up hitting thin air. But he didn't. I mean, he really timed it. Didn't throw it early. Didn't just throw it out of habit or out of hope. He saw the opportunity and went, bang, have some of that knee. And Lampros went, no, I can't have that knee. Thank you very much. It's too much powers.
Yeah.
See you later. So
not after that punch. I'm all. You know, that'll do. That's enough.
Good fight. Good fighters. But yeah, Murdoch, he's decent for sure.
There was some shenanigans. That's what I'm going to call it. Shenanigans. That's a good descriptive word for it. Before the next fight pick, which started with the coaches, the shenanigans, if you like, because Volkanovski mentioned that Ortega had kept him waiting for a bit. And then Chiesa got involved as well. Stuck his head round the back of one of the fighters and started giving it all the chats.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it's like, where's Wally? When it was just he weren't there, and then all of a sudden it was like bang over his shoulder.
But he was having a dig at that, the coach who wanted the Murdoch story, you know, the one with the shaded Ronnies. Yeah. He was saying that he was being a bit disrespectful, you know, let the coaches do their thing, but leave the fighters alone. Stop having a dig at them. They're doing their best or whatever. It was quite good chat.
I feel like Chiesa and everybody like was being a touch hypersensitive over what that coach said, but I also think that it was that coach was a little bit of a Mark Lehman, and I understand why Chiesa kind of did poke his head around the corner like a cartoon character, as if to say, like, get back in your lane. You know, you ain't no fighter. You ain't achieved nothing here. You're just here holding pads. So don't you start piping up and giving it.
These blokes are getting punched in the head. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. These guys are actually sacrificing something. These guys are trying to achieve something. We don't need you going, oh yeah, well, we've done you 4-0. It's like, you ain't done nothing. You hold pads.
It was good, yeah.
But you hold pads, so just shut your face, you know, because like you say, there will be, Lampro standing there. That day ain't gone how he planned. You know, he is going to be standing there a little bit emotionally, torn up. And he's got some coach going, we've done you 4-0. I do get why Lampros would be a little bit like, man, shut your face, Who are you?
He probably doesn't feel that that it's his place to do those chats. So Chiesa done it for him.
Yeah.
Backed him up, if you like, popped his head round the shoulder and went, listen, I've got some stuff to say here. You calm down over there.
Well, like you say, I don't doubt that there will have been, when that 4-0 comment was made by that coach, I don't doubt that there will have been someone on Volkanovski's team who will have wanted to have gone, man, shut your face. But like you say, they are nobodies at the moment, so to speak. And so they might feel like it's not really my place to jump in here or say anything. It's a bit of a confrontational sort of scenario. And I like the fact that Chiesa, as if you like a senior sort of
someone
person,
who's been there, done that, current fighter.
Exactly, yeah. Someone who has kind of, if you like, earned that right to sort of pipe up, took that opportunity to go, man, shut your face.
Yeah.
He's good Chiesa. We've always said we
Because
liked him.
he knows. My favourite Chiesa scene, didn't you?
Yeah. Don't talk about my mum.
Don't talk about my mum. Yeah, right. It's the best scene ever. Actually, a wicked scene, like a scene from a film. That's how I treat that. I love that. But yet, he's been on Ultimate Fighter. He knows he can say he truly believes, he thinks he knows how these people feel, because he's been there and gone through it. He's gone through losses on the big stage and all that as well. So he knows what's going down. And he also did good chats, didn't he? He said, look, let the coaches do their thing. They can have the fight. So in other words, I weren't going to butt in on that. That's not my place. But I'm here to help with the fighters. It did seem a bit sensitive and touchy, didn't it, really? But to be fair, Volkanovski only did a little dig about, sorry that he's kept us waiting. Ortega's kept waiting for 20 minutes. And he did the, you're on my time. So, oh, yeah, on your time, man. So you're the man, are you? Good reaction.
I agree with Volkanovski, though. You want to take selfies, you want to mess about, do it after the fight's been announced, and then the whole day's yours to do whatever the hell you like. But don't leave us all standing in here for 15 to 20 minutes, especially Lampros has just been beaten up, might want to go home, might want to relax, might want to have a little bit of a cry under the pillow, and you're making us all hang around here because you want to go and take selfies in the car park. Do it after. So I agree with Volkanovski.
And would Ortega be doing that and turning up late and doing selfies in the car park if the shoe was on the other foot and he was 0-4? Unlikely. And that's unlikely, right? Because he wouldn't be in that mood. But you said about the fighters feeling like they might have wanted to say something but didn't. Centurion bloke had no issue piping up.
The Spartans, Petrosky?
Yeah, he had no issue with it. Well, it was outside. They came and showed up for us to be mates with us. And he piped up.
It looks like there's going to be an overspill from this into next week's episode, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it showed some clips in the house with.
Yeah, because I think some Volkanovski blokes are saying that, Ortega's just in it for himself. And then, Ortega's blokes are like, no, man, he really cares for us. I mean, this really does start to turn into Love Island or something. But yeah, it looks like, look, we've been dying, crying out for something to watch. And at the end of that episode, it was something to watch. I enjoyed it. I liked that 5 minutes. I was entertained by it.
Agreed.
That's what I want. And I want more of that. I don't want it manufactured and I don't want it fake, but I want more of that. And if there is none of that to show, then show me some training techniques. Show me some guys hitting the bag. Show me some stuff like that. Do not show me Brian Battles walking around the house talking to people about how many kids they got. That I ain't interested in.
No, that's right. It was. I agree with you. It was a good, entertaining thing. And I do think it wasn't manufactured. It was real. Volkanovski made a dig. And rightly so, because he felt a little bit annoyed by the whole situation and then having to wait. And Ortega didn't dig back, but he said quite, an arrogant comment back. And that got Volkanovski's goat up, which is understandable, right? But what did he say? He went, listen, your boy, he was quiet. He said, your boys did good. Yeah, your boys did good. They won. They've done really good. But you ain't done nothing. You ain't done me. You ain't done nothing. You know what I mean? So you can stand there all powers, but I'm the champion, you ain't done me. So I did like the chats. And then I also liked Ortega going, think I've wound him up. Think I've done him. So it was good. It was good. And that is partly what the Ultimate Fighter is about. And I couldn't agree more. If it isn't about that and we don't have any real beef or real little arguments and tittle-tattles and tension in the house, then I want training. So I couldn't agree more. Finally, Ortega does a fight pick. So maybe it was because he was turning up late. And that's why Volkanovski was doing all the picks, even though Volkanovski had lost the fights, because Ortega did one this time and he was in the room. So I still don't understand what has happened there, but maybe it is because he just hasn't been showing up and Volkanovski's been going, well, I'll just do the pick then. But why does he know what the pick is if it's Ortega's?
It'll be submitted to, the Franco or something, won't it? It'll be.
Yeah, of course. He's in charge, isn't he?
They got to know what's going on, yeah.
Next fight, then. The next fight pick is Brian Battle, brilliant, versus Kemran Lachinov. Like we've said with all of these previous picks, there's nothing we can say. I mean, we can guess. We'll do it. We'll take a guess on who we think's going to win.
It looks like it's going to a decision to me, judging by the clips from the end of the show. So that's going to be my prediction for next week. I think Battle against this fella.
They previewed it and they showed quite a lot of the fight going off of your thinking, I thought that might be your prediction.
I'm going to go for a battle, believe it or not, even though we slammed him last week. I'm going to go for a battle decision victory.
But
yeah,
even based on the fist holding.
Just from the clips I saw, I think he's going to get a decision victory. Got quite a lot of height and reach on this fella as well. When they squared up, he did have a little bit of a height and reach advantage, didn't he? So,
I mean, Battle's had a lot of time on the show compared to Kemran Lachinov, because I don't think I've seen any of him.
No.
So
when he came out to square up, I was like, "Who's this bloke?
True.
Who's this bloke? Who's this bloke? And what does he want?"
yeah. Why is he on? There's same with a few blokes in the background. I'm not seeing anything of him yet. And the thing is, you could say, but DeFranco concentrates on the two people who are going to fight at the end of the episode. But there's plenty of time to discuss the other blokes, show them training and show us other stuff. Plenty of time to put some focus into all of the fighters. He just uses the time badly, doesn't he? So that's your prediction. You think it's going to be, it don't matter who's going to win, is just a throwaway thing, right? You've said Battles. I'm going to say Lachinov just because you said Battles, because we don't really know. We haven't seen him do nothing. But the fun part is your prediction of how you think the fight's going to go. Doesn't matter who wins or loses this. Based on the structure of the show, you're saying it's going to be probably a decision. So let's wait and see for that. Because I like that. It's interesting. Got it right last time. Brilliant. That's the end of the review of episode 4.
Yeah. Best episode so far, simply just because the fight at the end was good, and so was the little disagreement they had at the fighter pick. And you also had him missing weight the first time. That was a tiny shred of drama there. So those 3 things made that the best episode so far, I'd say, by quite a distance. Next best episode was the Ludovic episode, because the Ludovic Raposo fight was decent as well. Yeah. The episode 1 and episode 3 both pretty diabolical, is the truth.
Agreed. Definitely the best episode so far. Doesn't mean it was good. It was just the best episode so far.
Exactly. Yeah. Best of a bad bunch. Right. See you later.
Yeah. See you later. Thanks very much. Tell her.